Abi, I've got maybe the biggest question. This one you can take all the time you want. So you've alluded to this. You've alluded that you have changed the teaching process from what you received into your own methodology. Let's say I'm a new student that's going to be there with you for 5 years. What would the beginning of my training process look like, and how have you organized the work as a teacher for your students?
Okay. So first of all, we have a syllabus, like we have an organized system. We go from one phase to the other. Of course, within those phases, you can change and do other things, but you must also go through the process. I would also like to mention that my teaching method is not necessarily like pure Chinese. What I'm doing, because we didn't talk about it yet, what I'm doing at the moment for like 30 years, also at the moment, is working at Israel's National Sports Center. It's called the Wingate Institute. Okay, so old Wingate is like a local hero which was here during the British Mandate. And I'm working there at the martial arts department. I was working there for like decades as a lecturer, and now as the head of the martial arts discipline for the last 5-6 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And what we are doing there is, because according to the Israeli law, you must have, in order to teach martial arts or actually any other sports, you need to have a state diploma. But state, Israel is not divided to states. It's a national diploma by a body which is institute, which is authorized by the Sports and Culture Ministry. Okay, so you cannot theoretically go and teach martial arts in the park or anywhere else without this diploma. With this diploma, the diploma have also different levels. It's from instructor to coach to like let's say supreme coach to the way to the national coach. Okay, so the grading within the teaching grades. Okay. And we are not teaching a martial art, so we're teaching how to teach. Just martial arts mythology, that's it. So during the time of course, with the help of other members of the department, we polished the system of having this martial arts skills, teaching skills. Okay, so this is the main thing we are doing. So obviously I'm using those methods also when I'm teaching. But part of it is also, let's say, the Chinese way, like follow me, etc. But basically we're talking about even the tone, the sound, the tone of teaching, where to place yourself within the studio, or how to set the students within the class, not just stand wherever you like. The teaching method, we have the segment method, where we break techniques into parts. We are using different methods of using idioms or reflecting the technique, or the whole method, which is just one motion. We have I'm looking for the right word. Accelerate method is helping not the best students, even the one who are a bit slower, how to make a progress forward within the other part of the class. So in this part, we are using contact and as a method of communication, idioms, using different aids, even like lines on the floor or something which is not really necessarily not Chinese, or other instruments and aids we can use. We are planning classes, okay?
Yeah.
From 45 class, and you have to write actually, to write a schedule, like this kind of a schedule, a program for one class, and eventually to 1 year. Plan the whole year.
Beautiful.
Progressively from 1 month to the other. Of course, it doesn't mean that when you get to December, it's exactly what you planned a year ago. But within, let's say, a month or so, more or less close to is very good. And even sometimes to Olympic program, like a 4-year program. Okay, so meaning the basic idea is when it's not taking not taking any improvisation part from the teacher or taking his soul away. But in the beginning, we say, the more you improvise, the less safe it is. Okay? Don't improvise too much as a beginning teacher. Stick to the plan more or less. Know what you are planning. Don't do stupid things like you have 5 minutes left. Let's do some new techniques in those 5 minutes and get injured, or even how to use the vocal, the tone of speaking in the last 5 minutes, or what to say and what not to say, how to correct students, how to locate mistakes, you saw mistakes, what is the mistake? What is the root of the mistake? How to correct it? Don't go you need to analyze. It's like even like a surgery. You need to go to the students and in one sentence, pinpoint to the root of the problem, and not start to say that if you are in Danbian, in a single whip, that the problem is here with this finger. It's somewhere in the center. How to correct, how to communicate with the class. So I'm using all those, of course, when I'm teaching. But back to our subject. We're doing in the beginning just Santi, okay? And short and long opening of Santi Shi, which means just 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, both sides. And within this phase, we're doing Santi Kaifa, opening and closing the hip, just 1, 2, 1, 2. And then we're doing, as Luo is teaching, then we're doing Jib and Sofa. Okay, because we had different exercises, like 3,000 exercises of Jib and Sofa. I just took what Luo is teaching. I'm doing the same. Just sometimes he's doing 1 to 8. We are doing 1 to 8. Sometimes he thinks that actually 12. We are doing 12. When it is expanding, we're expanding. We're shrinking. Okay, but we're using 1 to 8, the basic ones. And this is the beginning. So, and then we're doing stances. We didn't do many stances in Tang Sho Tao in Taiwan. Maybe because each student who arrived had a previous knowledge in another Kung Fu style, so there's maybe no need to just stand there in Mabu or Gongbu or whatever. So we're doing like 8 stances, and it's a chain of motions. One is following the other, and then we're doing 8 steps, just stepping, starting with Banbu. We're also doing Kobu and Banbu, obviously, but also like Xingyi steps. Mostly, and within those steps, we're doing also partner work, in order to understand the range and the timing. Okay, and then we're doing something is called Tang Sho Tao. It's just a group of exercises with just a clash here. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the first one. And then we're doing a replacing step within, and then backwards and forward. But I'm using each one of those as a root or an idea for further development. So it's like a plant or spruit. or with the right conditions, like water and sun, it's evolved. So I can use one exercise like for 2 months or more. So we're doing 8 of those. Another group of 8, I'm using a mixture of, let's say, Tang Sho Tao, Sudong Chen, things I just created by myself, but I just put them in one group. Just call it bridging hands. So it's like a mixture of Xingyi and Bagua. The first 4 exercises are like by Sudong Chen. We're just going that like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then pt2, and then from inside and from outside. We're doing those. And we're doing, let's say, I don't know if it's, I cannot call it a complete martial art because I'm really not sure it's so complete. But we're doing Jianzhuang, because I also studied for a while some Xingyi Chuan, mainly with Hong Yi from Berkeley. He also passed away. So this was, of course, not only scientific. Hong used to arrive to Israel for like, I don't know, 25 years or so, maybe more than 20 years, for quite a long stay each time. And also went to study in field there, like 1 month in Berkeley, one week in Turkey, 1 week here, 1 week there. And I also added to the curriculum the Jianzhuang, not only Santisho or Xingyi stances, but other Yichuan stances. Yeah, that's it more or less. And after they have an exam, in the exam they have to do the Jiben Shofar 1 to 8 stances and 8 steps. Only then we start in the forms. So usually, because I'm not teaching it that fast, it takes about 1.5 years or so. And only then we start with the forms. The forms, of course, I excluded all the Shaolin and Tang Sho forms. And everything which is white crane, etc. I was teaching it in the first years, but then I decided if I'll teach the same method, I'll never get to Xingyi. Never. Just decided to skip it. So we start with the 8 forms. Babuda, Baliancho, Basho, and Meihua. That's 4 8-section forms. And then we do the 5 elements, the 12 animals, and of course the other Xingyi forms. This is regarding the forms. I don't know, for what we did today, for example, because we had a morning class in the park in Tel Aviv, we did Jiben Gong for about, let's say, 40-45 minutes. Including, let's say, we did Tiangan and other things. We did Neigong, Xingyi Neigong of different kinds. Some related to the, let's say, to the lineage, like Li Tsuni. Some other Neigong, like Wang Jiwu, like the Tim Cartmell's and Dan Miller translation.
Sure.
Xingyi Neigong of Wang Jiwu. So it's we do a lot of balanced exercises and it's a mix of Xingyi Bagua. Let's say it's a Xingyi Bagua preparation. Let's say, and then we had a small break, and then we were just standing in a circle because I'm teaching in a circle only if it's not a new material. If it's a new material and you're standing in this position, so one sees only your shoulder and the other one's from this angle, and you have to change angles all the time. But when everyone already knows the exercises, so we did the Jiben Wuxin. It's sometimes it's translated to English as a 5 elements power exercise. It's also taught by Luo de Xiu anyway. So we did those 5 within the circle because the circle gives you feeling of togetherness with my group and also equal, because you're not standing in front of the class and doing, okay guys, do this, okay, you're equal, everyone is doing together. And then we do, let's say, because there are so many forms, so every 2 months we do the 5 elements are going through the whole year. every 2 months we are skipping to the next, and also in a circular method. So now we're on Bong Chuan, okay? So we did some Bong Chuan corrections for the basic method, and then we did Bong Chuan long frame. Do you call it frame by in English? I'm not sure. Long frame, maybe. Yeah, long frame, okay.
Yeah, that's correct.
Because we're using like Zhang Feng's idea of long frame and small frame.
Beautiful.
Like in Gao style, like the linear forms, like first you go extended and then you go like over the half stack, which is kind of
yeah.
Okay. And then we did some partner exercise on Bong Chuan. And then surprisingly, an hour and a half passed. And then we moved to the weapons. And then we did just fan without partner work, just fan form. And then we did Miao Dao partner work. And that's it. It's a 2 hour class. And it's outdoors. It's really great in the park. And in where I'm teaching,
nice.
It's like a small Chinatown. I mean, there are plenty of people teaching Chinese martial arts in the same spot in the park.
Beautiful.
So there are like there are not too many Kung Fu classes, but there are like Tibetan White Crane. There Fuchs is a student of Luo de Xiu.
Yeah.
He's my tree neighbor. He's teaching Bagua. So we're teaching. He's there. I'm here. And, it's in Bagua. What else? There are different Tai Chi classes. There's even one Chinese teacher teaching Tai Chi. Qigong, also different classes. There's a bunch of classes within the same area, which is nice. Even actually almost before we finish, around let's say around 10 o'clock, there's another guy who comes for private teaching. He's teaching Yang Pu Baguazhang, another version, another style of Baguazhang. What else? Yeah, I think that's it more or less for this small area.
I was going to ask, I think I read somewhere that you've been doing Eskrima for a long time.
I do.
And I was just curious, like, how did you get involved with that?
Okay. Interesting story. Everything is interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it is.
That's why we're here.
Okay.
That's why we're here.
Okay. So, I had, beside, of course, watching The Way of the Warrior, obviously, the episode about Filipino martial arts.
Yes.
I have no idea about Filipino martial arts whatsoever. So when I was already teaching in Israel, I was sub-renting a studio from a karate school of Shitoryu style in Tel Aviv. And one of the students in this class, he was a black belt at the time. He went to travel in the Philippines, really for not a very long time. But during his travel there, he studied for a very short time modern Chinese. Okay?
Yep.
When he came back to Israel, he started teaching. The very little he knew was much more than we knew, because everyone knew zero. And he asked me, I was a sub-renter there, right? If I want to join his class. I said, okay, let's see what it is. And we started practicing with him. I remind you, he knew very little, but we knew zero. So very little is more than zero. Okay, so far so good. And then a guy, is an American guy, but he have an Israeli name, so it's a little bit confusing. His name is Aryeh Pesach, Dr. Aryeh Pesach. He's a real doctor. He's an MD, right? A real doctor. And what happened? Okay. Anyway, he was born in the States. His father immigrated to the States. He's Israeli, and he married an American woman. And Aryeh was born in the States. And eventually, when he decided to study medicine, he found that you can study the American program of medicine outside the U.S.
Oh, wow.
We have two universities in Israel. It's you study with American students in English within the university. It's only your class. We have this program in Tel Aviv University and then in Beersheba University. And so he came to Israel to study medicine, the American program. And he was a student, Aryeh was a student of Chuck Adale, an American guy, and Chuck Adale was a student of Kabbalists. It's called Serada Eskrima. Angel Kabbalists. And it was like intermediate instructor within the frame of this system, right? And he arrived to Israel, and he walks in Tel Aviv, and then he sees a flyer advertising of this guy who doesn't know much, teaching Anis. Wow, I didn't know there were like Filipino martial arts. Maybe that I won't go out of shape. I'll go just to practice there. So Aryeh joins our class. And after like 3 minutes, you see like the guy knows like nothing. Okay, doing maybe Sinawali and angle 1 to 5 or nothing. And Aryeh is already quite good at what he's doing, right? So after a couple of classes, Aryeh replaced the local teacher, and he was teaching this. So we actually were learning Kabbalah Serada Eskrima, and I came. So I never went to the Philippines, right? So it's not like the esoteric story of going to Taiwan. This is a local story.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. And Aryeh and myself became really, really good friends. And I also went to his wedding in the States when he went back to the States. And he said, I'm not leaving Israel before you were becoming an instructor. So we were trained like crazy, the two of us, privately, not within the class. And during that time, we also started bringing teachers from the States to Israel, which was, I think maybe the first time even, I'm not sure. So first we brought Aryeh's classmates from the States, Lee Watson. He came for a couple of times, and then Randel Dagok from the Philippines is the modern Anis guy. Anyway, so it started to form something. And when eventually one of the visits of this our classmates, Lee Watson, I already tested for the very premium state, is a basic instructor. And when Aryeh left, I started teaching Eskrima as well. So
that's cool.
Quite a good combo, but I stopped doing that. At first I thought I would combine Xingyi and Serada. So we do like an hour and a half Xingyi and half an hour of Serada. But then I felt the energy is not mixing very well together. Even though they can complete each other, and just separate them. And today I'm teaching only privately. And once a month or more, I'm teaching the Xingyi guys, just for the variety of things. Instead of Xingyi class, I'm doing a Serada class. So I'm not teaching very, very heavily. Yeah, just on the side.
When you were in Taiwan, as I'm going to sort of change direction here a little bit, but when you were in Taiwan, did you do like tui-na, and did you learn any kind of the medical practices when you were there, or anything like that?
Okay. First, we have to stick to the truth, and then because not make some fairy tales, and then see what you can achieve even informally, right? Because before I went to Taiwan, there was I studied in Israel with the pioneers of Chinese medicine and shiatsu in Israel. Okay.
Sure.
So I think this was, I'm quite sure, this was the first class in Israel, like started in 1983 of Chinese medicine.
Wow.
It was taught by a Israeli guy named Moshe Olszewski, and he studied in the California Acupuncture College. And then he came back to Israel. He didn't know where to teach. We didn't have Chinese medicine schools at the time. And another guy named also Israeli guy, Ron Pais, he studied in Japan shiatsu, also came back home. And both of them actually didn't have where to teach. So the first teaching was in a school called it's kind of I'm not sure about the right translation, maybe the Vegetarian College or something like that. Okay. Mm-hmm. And they gave them a roof just to start teaching. So we're studying Chinese medicine with Moshe and shiatsu with Ron. Mm-hmm. And this until I went to Taiwan. Okay. Mm. That's how I got the job in the American club in Taiwan, because I was already certified in shiatsu.
Right.
Within Taiwan period, I cannot say I learned anything official, anything. Like, sure. And people says, what, you were not an assistant of Hong Yi-Shiang? Okay, obviously not. Not an assistant and not nothing. I met some people who, let's say, gave me, influenced me in a way. I cannot say that I learned from them directly. It was not a class. Even watching Hong Yi-Shiang treating people in the clinic, and I even got to the clinic only because I was injured myself, not because he invited me to the clinic to watch him treating, right? But I watched a lot, like seeing these people. He had another great tui-na student who was teaching all the celebs in Taiwan. So I went to him to get some treatment to my knee injury. The most painful treatment I ever had as I get the treatment, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I met some other people in Taiwan who were doing kind of like Chinese chiropractic or something like that. So I know you learn a little bit from here, a little bit from there, not in a very systemized manner at all. Just to go back to this treatment. So Chris Ma, the American guy I told you about, he said, yeah, maybe you go take a treatment for this guy. He's actually Hong Yi-Shiang student, and he's like the top tui-na practitioner in Taiwan. Okay. I said, wow, student of Hong Yi-Shiang? Great. I'm going to this guy. Yeah. It's like a duplicate of Hong Yi-Shiang. Huge, like, is he Chinese? Sure. He's a huge guy. They said, so I knocked on his door. Of course, I said, Chris Ma sent me. He said, come again. Yeah, so what's the story? I said, I don't know. I'm a student of Hong Yi-Shiang, and I have some pain in the medial meniscus. I said, you're a student of Hong Yi-Shiang? I said, yes. I said, sure? I said, yeah, sure. What do you mean? Okay, so this is, I remind you, this is a tui-na treatment, right?
Yes.
Okay, stand in sun t-shirt. So I came from tui-na. So, okay, just shut the fuck up. Just standing.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I'm standing there in sun t-shirt. I'm not joking. He's going from the side like G in Tai Chi. Mm-hmm. And get me flying all the way to the sofa. Boom! So, okay. So I said, I like you. Okay. So I didn't do nothing. I just stood there and just flew away. Okay. Maybe you like the way I flew away, I guess. Okay. And Chris Ma sent me, I was sure he was joking, really, because it's sometimes hard to get, even though he's American Chinese, you're not sure that it's exactly the sense of humor that you're used to. He said, sure. Oh, this guy is really like grabbing you and you're screaming. And I was joking. I said, oh yeah, I get this sense of humor. And I found he was not joking. Oh. So the treatment is on a tatami floor, like Japanese tatami. Mm-hmm. Okay, this guy, I'm not joking, his hand is bigger than Hong Yi-Shiang. It's like a monster.
Whoa.
Nailing you to the ground, pinning you to the ground. Mm-hmm. Pressing, it's like a nail going all the way to your body, but you can't move because he's grabbing you. And you go, oh no! And then, well, I said, is this a healing process? Like, I'm not sure.
Right.
Wow. I think maybe because it's so painful, you forget about the original pain.
Yeah. I love it.
Oh, God. I had a couple of treatments with this guy. But wow, you know, each, it's like nail. Each finger goes like through the body. It's like, whoa.
Wow.
Okay. And then, and then I went back to Israel and went back to the systemized learning. So I learned another style of shiatsu, because in Israel I studied Namikoshi shiatsu, and then I went to study Zen shiatsu with a British guy named Nigel Dose. And then what happened, they were started to open Chinese medicine schools in Israel. And at the time, at least at the 90s, each school had at least or more one Chinese teacher, maybe 2 or 3 Chinese teachers. So I had the good fortune to study with 2 of them, tui-na. One is Neigong tui-na, like Neigong, they say Neigong tui-na, and the other another style of tui-na with 2 really good teachers for a couple of years. So to sum the whole thing up, I didn't have any formal medical education during the time in Taiwan, but I think it influenced me a little bit here and there by watching other people or even getting a treatment. By the way, also YiXiang treating you was very dangerous. As Marcus Brinkman said, if during class you would say that you really feel pain somewhere, and then Hong Yi-Shiang would come to treat you, he would do this crazy stuff, okay, like getting 2 fingers into your armpit and pulling it. You like skyrocket to the sky from pain. And then you learn slow, or grab you from the back and pull those pulls like. Then you learn, okay, that when it's coming slowly towards you, you immediately feel better. Before it reaches you, of course.
Right.
It's touching you. You're healing in like seconds. I'm really good.
I love it. That's great.
I've only got like 1 question or 2 questions that I wanted to ask, and this is sort of a bigger.
You can stay here for days, right?
Yeah.
No,
what's that?
Theoretically. All right.
But I was going to ask, sort of from the time when you started training with Hong and sort of and training all the way through today, how has your perspective on Xingyi changed over time?
That's a good one.
It's a big question. And, you can kind of.
Superb question. I think we're discussing it a lot within, of course, like you have different endless Facebook groups. Some are in English, some in Hebrew. We're also discussing this that some claims, within the Israeli Chinese martial, or let's say even the Neidia community, right? So it's really some suggest that if Xingyi would not evolve and get really serious change, and get farther and farther for MMA or other common martial arts, it would just disappear. Which is actually, you have to face this question seriously. But maybe there's also like a circular trans motion, and maybe it will come. I'm not sure. At the moment, what I'm sure is it's very difficult to teach Xingyi. Or Zhang even.
Yeah,
my dog. Very difficult to teach Xingyi. Is okay. There are no rapid or quick results. First of all, you need tremendous effort. Just to let's face it. Most of the people would not only not stand in Zhanzhuang, They will even not be by their own for even 1 minute. When they get home, they must have a TV on the background or music, or if they just sit there, what do I do? What do you mean, what do you do? Just be sad. You don't have to do nothing. So I'm not talking about meditation or something like that. So they're just trying to tell someone to stand for 40, 60 minutes is like crazy, right? It's a crazy task. And regarding the effectiveness, I cannot claim that even today is I don't know, it's effective for me. I don't know for you. I mean, is it, and people really raise, good questions. Said, okay, like this demonstration, different, even showing, videos from the present, from different Xingyi guys. So really, that the other guy is just standing in scientist here, is even not punching, and if he's punching, he's just just stretching and staying there is no, in reality is not staying there, and it's difficult to explain to people who are not doing Xingyi that it's only like a transitional phase process, that you can move from one doing this and coming around and do that, and Bong Chuan maybe do something else, and it just filling the gaps in the whole picture. And this is not exactly like real fighting, and no one says that the opponent is standing in a sun t-shirt or like standing like a wooden dummy and not moving at all. And they also another claim is but I'm not calling them the opposition, just the guys who raise really good questions. Is the idea that if I'm based on like Tang Sho Tao or Hong Yi-Shiang ideas, like fake, real, and he was really a super master in this thing, and he would hit you ruthlessly from any angle that he wants. Okay, this is obvious. But people are asking, okay, the idea is that you have one action and you build on that action. So if you do this, I do that, and then I have to wait for you here in order for you to go there, in order to lock you from here. So they claim that this is completely unreal, irrelevant to the modern era, and unpractical. Okay? And it's really, you find it, how can you prove that it's at least legit martial art? So I'm just saying that for those people, I'm seeing some of them know me for like a few decades. That for myself, I don't know for others, like I had a certain process and it works well for me. Maybe for the future, maybe you need to change really something, maybe in the methodology, and have more. I'm not sure really, because I really love the traditional way, and I'm teaching traditional martial art with, let's say, Western mythology, Western and Chinese mythology. Yep. And I really love this way, and I won't replace it, I think, for something else. So I'm not I cannot and don't want to prove that it's better or less effective than other martial arts, because the efficiency is also, people when they, this is very effective. I don't know, MMA is very effective, maybe, but for what? Effective for the ring? Is it effective for self-defense? I'm really not sure. I think this way of practice, let's say at least within the frame of Hong Yi-Shiang students, I think most of them are very knowledgeable. Some of them have a very good background. Also in the tournaments, let's say Su Yong Chen, Go De Shu, and of course others. For myself, I didn't compete much, a little bit abroad, mostly successfully. So I competed a little bit in the States, not much, once just in New York Open, but just in the form competition of Xingyi, just forms, and then I placed second, and then in Tak Ma Wong competition. I competed in the Xingyi Bagua division. So we're together, the Xingyi and Bagua. And there I placed third in the forms, and I competed in this same competition in another section category called a 4-star competition, which is, I think I, at the time, maybe tried to see who is the best competitor, who have knowledge. You have to compete in 2 days in empty hand forms, short weapon, long weapon, and full contact sparring. Okay. But the full contact was only for the ones who registered for the 4 stars. So let's say there are 15 guys registered for 4 stars, only competing with those 15, not hundreds or thousands of people. So there was the form. You had to show good skills in empty-handed weapons, and then compete against your fellow, no weight division, by the way. So you can be a skinny guy and you can face a very massive guy. So this was very interesting, because you're also competing people from different countries. The people from Brazil or other delegations who came really with big delegations from abroad, and some, of course, local martial artists from the States. And it was a very good way just to compare and see where it works. Just for myself, I think I was doing very, very well in the forms and not as well as I expected in the sparring. But this is, but when you come to such an event, you don't know really how to prepare. If I would know in advance that people are coming from like delegations from abroad, maybe you prepare differently and go to do, I don't know, some specific training for this. I just went, with a backpack and, hey, I'm here. So some of the fights went well, some less. Anyway, so eventually I faced this guy who was the previous champion. He's from California area, Choi Lai Food guy. And the prize for the guy who won the 4 stars is a vacation in Hawaii. Okay. Ooh. So it's, I think, 1 week in Hawaii or more. And he won it in the last year before I arrived. And what I thought eventually, because he was like kicking everyone. Okay, this was really, it's not that you fight for 3 rounds and then you lose. It's just you go up and 30 seconds, okay, you're out. Right. Maybe his wife tells him, listen, this year we're going to Hawaii. I don't care. So he goes every year and he wins the 4 star and they go to Hawaii. Otherwise, beautiful. I don't think you have such an ambition to win this. And he won again for the 2nd year. Okay, this is a crazy guy. I don't know. I have his name somewhere, but really, like, whoa, phenomenal guy, very high skill. But it was really interesting. People came from Hawaii, from Brazil, from different communities. Otherwise, I didn't have such a long career in competitions. I competed once in the Israeli championship, and then won a few categories, and that's it. And I'm not really a heavy competitor.
Abi, I've only got one more question for you, and then if Owen's got another. And first, and again, this has been phenomenal. Thank you so much for your time. It's been a pleasure having you on the show. And again, we love talking about martial arts and Xingyi and Bagua. So my question is, you have trained for a great amount of time, my friend, and you've met other people from other martial arts, but also other people from different lines of Xingyi. Is there something that you feel or could state or speak about Hong Yi-Shiang's method that you feel is unique to him and that you think is very special in the world of Xingyi?
Okay, so I think during the time, I won't go into different names. I met people from both Xingyi and Xingyi and Xingyi Chuan. We're talking about Xingyi. I still believe there is something special, which I think you can see the results with the students, at least the ones who are teaching, and the fact that he maybe, for his time when he established in the 60s his Tang Sho Tao school, and during the 60s, 70s, 80s, until he passed away in 1993, I think he had this unique perspective of even if you're doing Xingyi, you're also doing well, I think the word in Hebrew is nicely than in English, a wrapping of other materials, which he succeeded to bring the potential of his students to premium skill. Even they did not do only Xingyi Chuan. I'm not sure this is his secret, but eventually he was very functional in a way. He had a very large perspective of how to build a system, which was not very common at his time. It's kind of a Chinese MMA. Are you doing this and that and that? But everything eventually narrows to the Xingyi path, because eventually this was the main style. So it doesn't matter if we did also a little bit Chen Panning Tai Chi or some Bagua. I think the structure of the movement was Xingyi Bagua. It's like a mixture. You cannot separate this from the other. And the results were, I think, phenomenal for quite many practitioners. I'm not talking only about the very known, like Luo Deshuo and Sudong Chen, of course, because they're both teaching a lot, or were teaching a lot in the West. As I said, Luo is coming back to Israel in the 5th of June, not far from here. Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
excellent.
Yeah. And so if I'm taking those two guys, okay, I think Luo is a great example. I think he's also a little bit exceptional, but I think even when he meets other martial artists, or sometimes in Israel when he comes, he's invited by the other schools, not Xingyi schools, to teach here and there. I think you cannot deny his skill. The power is not that big, right? The power. Okay, you know what I mean.
I do.
Yeah,
I felt it many times.
Even if, cool, like you feel your neck for a week. Like it's like it's like a cannon. It's like, I don't know. It's like, and you think, okay, the strategy is mostly is also close to Rosho. It's not a lot. Okay, let's say it's not that he's walking in a circle around you. Moving, cutting the angles, trapping a little bit, and fake, real. It's like Hong Yi-Shiang way, in a way. Of course, his own style and his own fashion. But I think he's a good example of course, of very high skill level. But what is interesting is that when the Sudong Chen and Luo Deshuo were younger, the classes at the time, as described by Kumar, Francis, and others, had maybe 150 students in each class.
Yeah,
it was it was huge. And think that when they were practicing in the first few years, they were not the best in the class. So we're thinking about within, let's say, even 5% of those were really very good. So you have a really big bunch of students who are very, very good. And no wonder that at least for a certain period of time, they won all the full contact tournaments in Taiwan. Usually the first 3 places, 1, 2, and 3, will go to Tang Sho Tao and then to others. It was also the practical aspect, even if it goes towards tournaments. Of course, tournaments today, of course, are different. We're not in the cage and we're not MMA, right? But you can bring forward your abilities to the ring or to traditional practice and teaching, of course, which is, I think, quite phenomenal. And on top of that, bring the health part on top of that, right? And make a whole package, which is, I think, today, let's face it, that when you are getting a bit older, okay, I don't know what is old, but a bit older, let's say I'm 65 at the moment, but still practicing, etc. I think that the martial aspect is less, not so much the central path, right? So first of all, be healthy. Yes. Second of all, be in good shape. And move, just movement, because we see ourselves not only as martial artists, but as like movement people or practitioners or teachers. And for that, the Chinese martial arts in general, I think, even the Tang Sho Tao in a very more narrow aspect, are doing a phenomenal work. I mean, you're working out every part of your body. You can still do, I think, maybe every mode. I find it hard at the moment to think about emotion in Xingyi at the moment that I cannot do. I don't know.
Beautiful.
Let's say 65, still very active, doing more than the students, doing Tiangan, everything. I think this is great. I think maybe even, let's say, in a year's time when I'll be 75, I'm not sure what the ability I'll have, because I'm also at the moment practicing every day by my own, which I think is very important for a teacher in general, for every teacher. Besides teaching hours, self-practice is sacred. I don't care what, every day I'm practicing, mostly just with the body. Sometimes I have some, you cannot see it from here, some with heavy weapons or some with other tools. Usually I'm not going to the gym though, but I do some power training as well with heavy weapons. So I think even if you reduce a little bit the ability, I think in general you can, in your 70s, do at least most of Xingyi moves. Most, maybe some, maybe going a little bit higher, maybe in some, I'm not sure, I'm not there yet, but I will be someday. So this is also great, because when you see other styles, sometimes you do, something which look very, very effective or great when you're younger. But then when you are in your 50s, I cannot do most of the motions.
Right.
And also regarding Eskrima, I think in the last decade or so, it's not that I reduced the teaching because I just had less students. Okay, not that it was my ambition to do less Eskrima, but also maybe in the back of my mind, when I see myself in 5 years, like 70 years old, I think in general I less imagine myself running after someone with a stick, and more doing, like Xi Bagua motions, more concentrating on the health aspects, and in this way, this is really a great gift. So both, I mean, in Hong Yi-Shiang school and in Xingyi or any other martial arts in general, Bagua or any other, it gives you great benefits which are beyond the martial aspect, and can give you also a perspective of reflection, that even if you have this great idea that you have the as you said in the beginning, we're talking about Jib and Gong, you have the infrastructure, and then what's next? You become immortal or whatever. Sometimes it's very delicate, it's very gentle. When you practice by your own, you find a lot of things. I think even less the informed training than in single motions. But I think most of people don't find it very, very, very interesting. Okay, let's admit it. I can go for hours like one motion and do it small and big and play and feel it and just freeze it and move again. And in this self-training, I find a lot of ideas which I'm trying to evolve in class later. But this is without a teacher, just by own. Of course, ideally, Hong Yi-Shiang is still alive, and you're going to his class and also teaching. But for myself, I wasn't looking exactly. Okay, I'm doing what's according to what I have in the area. I won't go again. I'm married. I have kids. I won't go abroad again for another few years. I would go, of course, to seminars from teachers who are coming to Israel. From time to time, I would go abroad, usually not more than a week. I mean, for seminars, usually a week or so. When I'm abroad, I'm looking for other martial arts or trying to find in advance if there's something interesting while I'm there, because I'm traveling quite often. I think this is great, actually. Not Xingyi is great. Xingyi is great. Okay, Bagua is great.
Yes.
Let's say when I see other people who are not okay, we have now, of course, mobile phones, computers, AI technology, and people are more just sitting more and more in front of a computer for hours or days or whatever.
Yes.
We may, I'm not sure, see in a decade or so that it will go to an extreme level that people would do nothing without AI or any other things. And the whole circle will go back to movement. People will have to, and some spiritual training or movement. And what we see today is like, she is not, like you see thousands of people standing in some t-shirt just to be active in something. Maybe
beautiful.
Maybe we're going towards this place. I'm not sure.
I love it.
Owen, did you have anything else for Mr. Abi today?
No, I did not. Nope. I'm good.
Owen. Okay.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much again for your time, my friend.
Yes.
This has been far more amazing than we thought. Yeah.
Super enjoy.
Yeah. I'm kind of glowing.
The thing is, because my wife asked me for how long would it take? I said, I don't think we will talk more than an hour. But then that's what I told her. But then I said, maybe we'll talk for 5 or 6 hours.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful thing.
Forever.
Exactly. It's a lifelong process, and it's a lifetime of information. It's a lifetime of learning, and
it's a bonding process.
Yes.
At the moment we start to see we're friends. In 2 minutes, we're like best friends. We're talking about
it's like Xingyi.
Beautiful.
I love it.
We hope to have you back on the show down the road.
Yep.
And I
thank you so much.
And have a blessed day, and we'll talk to you again soon, my friend.
It was great talking to you.
Thank you,
my friend.
Thank you so much, guys.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a blessed one.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.